Welcome to Life on Bourbon, the podcast. I'm Armando Leduc, creator of the sitcom Life on Bourbon. Every week, we'll pull back the curtain on the show, filmmaking craft, bourbon street mythology, character arcs, and real stories that inspired our wildest scenes. We'll talk lenses and line reads, budgets and bar fights, with cast, crew, and a few French Quarter legends. If you love creativity, story structure, and a little NOLA chaos, you're in the right bar. Grab a seat, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Life on Bourbon podcast. 2 out of 3 times our host has not been here, so we're going to go without Armando again today. But that's cool. He's a busy man. He's all over the place. But we have 2 folks who were integral in the production of our pilot episode of Life on Bourbon. We've got Josh Palmintier, who plays Blake in the show and also provided a huge portion of our shooting locations. We were able to use his office to shoot our office for the show. Yes. Josh, glad you're here, buddy. It's good to see you. Juice, baby, juice, as we say. And we got Pedro Lucero here, who is one of our producers on the project. It really was integral to the whole thing coming together. But he also has the best hands in the business because he was our masseuse.
And in the middle of recovering from surgery too. Remember?
And in the middle of recovering from surgery, yeah. So both you guys were we were all heavily involved in putting this thing together, but couldn't have done it without either one of you guys. Glad you're here. Welcome to the podcast. We're gonna just kind of shoot the shit a little bit about what it was like putting it together. And talk a little bit about filmmaking with Pedro as far as his experience working in the New Orleans film community, because you've been doing that for a long time, and how I want to know from you, Pedro, how the Life on Bourbon production compares to a lot of the other productions that you've been involved with, and give me be brutally honest.
I mean, honestly, it's really weird because it's not. I know people really kind of base things on our budget and whatnot, but we had such a great crew of people, man. Like it was absolutely wonderful. Like everybody pitched in, everybody did their part. Everybody worked hard. We all believed in the project, and we got it done. And that's really what it comes down to. I have worked on multiple different budgets, on multi-million-dollar budgets to no budgets. And this was kind of fell under right above no budget. So
yeah, just right above it.
It was like this much above it, right? And but no, Armando called me up. We had this was a script that we started developing, God, so long ago, over a decade. And then just that was one of the biggest things that was always kind of our crux, is like, we need a budget. And then, this time around, we just kind of like, Armando called me up and was like, dude, are we going to do this? Let's just do it. We got the people, we got the resources, let's just do it. And it worked out great. Definitely run and gun. The guerrilla stuff, I think there was only one day that it kind of affected all of us. And that was obvious.
Which day was that?
Not realizing where we were going to the day we were out in front of that property on
front of the apartment, and the lady who owned it stuck her head out. I was like, "What are y'all doing? You're scaring the old people who live here."
Yeah. And there really wasn't a problem. It's usually most people in the city are pretty like cool about it, but every now and then you'll get somebody that's like, "What are you doing?" But yeah,
she was cool about it.
No, it was funny.
I missed that one.
Yeah, that was when we were shooting the exterior of the office in the morning. Where Armando gets out of the truck and he's talking to everybody that we're coming in. Like, we shot that outside of like an apartment building it was in the quarter, wasn't it, Pedro?
It was right on the outskirts of the French Quarter on Esplanade.
Yeah, and the lady who owned it, like, there were people that were walking in and out of it was a gate you had to go in to get in, and this lady stuck her head out the window like second or third story and was like, "What are y'all doing?" And apparently there was a lot of retirees who live in this apartment building, and they were a little freaked out about us being there in front of this building. And she sticks her head out the window. Armando calls up and he was like, "Yeah, we're doing this," and she's like, "Well," and he finds out her name and he was like, "Oh, I know your brother," or something like that. And she was like, "Okay, cool." Like, and then we were good to go. Like, it was totally fine. just show you how small of a town New Orleans really is.
And that's I think that was definitely the closest we came to like having an issue with anything, because for the most part, all the locations everybody was gracious enough to like let us use their locations. Josh in particular, that's a huge help when it comes to such a small budget, But yeah, it was quite a ride for sure. And I was in the middle of recovering from surgery, so that was interesting. So it's not like I could do much physical, but everybody was there, man, pulling their weight, and it was great.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I got to tell you, it was a brand new thing for me, brand new. And I mean, I have nothing to compare it to, Pedro and you will, but I tell you what, I was kind of bit. It was for one, it was really, really hard work. And, a lot of people don't realize that, actors and set and crew, they work their asses off. And so I got to see that.
Yeah. You try to say the same line 37 different times. And sound fresh each time. It's hard to do, isn't it? It's difficult. It's
just
hard.
Yeah,
but it is. That's a difficult thing to do, and to make it sound like it's the first time you said it. Every time you do it, there's a whole different level of energy it takes to do that.
You got to really believe in it. You got to believe in juice, baby.
Yeah, it was cool to see. It was.
But
cool
I
to
tell
see.
you what, it's funny.
Oh,
and this is something, Will, we got to talk about you too, bud. Like this is something. Will, we got to talk about you for sure, bud, because your character is just pinnacle, man. Like I feel like your character and Josh's character, and I dare say this without Armando on the podcast, really set the comedic pace.
No.
Like I really feel you guys set the comedic pace, because Armando's playing his character straight most of the time, which is great, and he does a great job with it, obviously. Yeah, but you guys definitely like nail the head. Like y'all nail the comedic pacing, because working with Josh, I know this was your first time, but I'm a very reactive actor, and it was just so easy to work with you, man. Like I had so much fun. It was chill. And it's not like I had to go completely out of bounds and do something different to like, keep everything in character. And same thing with you, Will. Like every scene you were in, I was just like, wow. And I want to talk about a little bit of your history in acting, dude.
My history?
Like, what is your history? Yeah.
My history. I just turned 49 in December. I started acting when I was 14.
I didn't ask how old you were.
I'm just letting you know how long I've been doing. Like I've been acting for almost like 35 years. So I've been doing it for a long time. 99% of it is on stage stuff. It's not been on film sets. The for LOB that's the most extensive like film set experience I ever had too. Josh, I hadn't. We do our one-day shoots for LeDuc Entertainment where we come in and we shoot with an attorney like you, and we're doing little bits here and there, and I oftentimes will act in those if I'm around, but doing this at this level, I hadn't done that kind of film production work before, so that was really cool to be a part of that. And it was interesting to bring in theater skills into that, but also you kind of have to turn that down a little bit, because when you're on stage it's a completely different performance than you would give when you're on camera. So luckily I was playing a character that was pretty brash and louder than life, but so I didn't have to turn it down too much. But yeah, my experience is like 35 years of doing this, playing all different kinds of characters. I've got some improv background as well. I've done improv. So I've been hanging around Armando since the year 2000. We've been hanging around each other for a long time.
I'll do it.
So there's a little bit of that. You kind of pick up that kind of stuff from osmosis, but yeah, that's my background is theatrically trained. That's where I was trained, is on the theater, on the stage. So,
and I want to comment on that and on what Pedro said about it being easy to work with me. One of the things that I said to Paul is that it really, because he gave me a compliment. I said, well, I mean, I feel like it's easy to act with good actors.
100%.
And so And so for me, working with you, Will, and Pedro, and I mean everybody, Armando, of course, but I mean everybody. I was just blown away at the professionalism. I was blown away at the talent level. And so, you're just kind of like, hey, I'm going to go full out because these motherfuckers would go no other way.
Yeah. I think that's 100% true, man. And, that same thing applies like in sports, right? You're on a sports team and you bring in the talent's good around you. Everybody else is going to elevate everybody else. And I think that was the case here. Kevin was on the show last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever the last time we recorded was. Kevin was our shooter and co-director, and he the thing he said to me over and over again was what made this different than other things he's been on is that there was not a weak link in the cast. Everybody was a strong actor. Everybody had really developed their character. The chemistry was really good among the cast. And usually when you're working on a small budget or no budget set like that, he says that you get the actors that you can get, basically. Right. And we were able to really have a high caliber of talent from top to bottom. And Josh, you killed it, man. You got a spray tan before the show, before we recorded for the part. I
really wanted to hit that part right,
the entire day and nothing but a towel, pretty much. Like that's most people when they're stepping into their first experience like this are not going to be willing to kind of play like that. And that was a gift, man, that you were like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll get a spray tan and I'll sit here on this table for 6 hours.
I mean, at least Pedro has soft hands, I mean, at least he has soft hands. No, man, I thought that, it's really, Pedro, you talk about, and I know, Will, that you put time and effort into it too, but you talk about the script and it being something that was worked on for decades and, or for a decade. And, I want to say, I thought the script was so much fun. Yeah, I mean, there's really good humor all the way around, and as a series, like the characters are so interesting. You can make, whole, episodes, and then, it could be episodic about one person and then another, you know what I mean? Because I think the characters are a lot of fun.
Yeah, the script was super fun to put together. And I think what was cool about it, and we talked about this before as well, was, we had all those Zoom calls where we were reading the script over and over and over again. And that really led to the development of the story that we finally had and figuring out what wasn't working and how do we re-engineer it. And we would have those, having those read-throughs and hearing you do the character. It wasn't even Blake at first, right? It had the different name.
No, I was actually going to be the character that was it Jeremy who played.
Yes.
Yeah. And the role was changed a great deal. And I thought it was a good change. I liked the Blake character more than the other. I think it was a Vincent or something like that.
It was great, and I loved in the show. One of my favorite edits in the show is we have that opening scene outside where you're introduced to a handful of the characters. Yeah. And it's, it's funny. It's not a super high energy scene. It's just kind of setting the stage. And then we cut immediately to you busting those doors open, doing your mantra with the music playing. And it's like, oh shit, here we go. It was great. The transition there was fantastic. I love that. That was one of my favorite.
Oh man, that whole scene and your whole character. I mean, he cracks me up, I think, more than any other character. I mean, the way you play him is perfect. And yeah, I can see where that, we're not necessarily film, but Broadway and, that type of act. And I can see where that added a lot to.
Yeah, it does. It does. What's interesting is, when you're on stage, you're playing, you have to be big and broad enough for the person in the last seat to be able to feel what they're supposed to feel, as opposed to on film. It's a little different. Oh,
well, I mean, and also you can hit that take 10 times. You can't do that,
which we did in that boardroom scene, the sales meeting scene. Man, how long did we shoot that? It felt like we were in there for 3 hours.
Yeah, it did seem that way. And I mean, but I mean, I think I slapped your ass like 10 times.
I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like I know we did a ton of takes, and we had what did we have? 12 people in that room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It was. Look, man, that scene was a lot of fun.
It was super fun, but it was tough though because we had so many folks, so we had to get so much coverage. That was something that I wasn't really. I mean, I knew that was something that went on, but I didn't realize how much time is involved with like, okay, now we have to get his coverage. Now we have to get your coverage. Now we have to get this reaction coverage over here. And so you're just doing it over and over again and that was really cool to kind of see how that comes together and then see the edit, the finished edit when it comes back in of like, okay, now I understand why we were doing this all these, 3 or 4 different ways. So it was cool. So you got the bug.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I can tell you, I've always been interested. I mean, I sang in bands for years, and as an attorney, I like to get in front of a jury. I don't mind. I don't mind public speaking. There are plenty of people that would rather die than speak publicly, and I don't have that issue. And when you're young, maybe you don't realize that it's a gift. I mean, I really just thought everybody was like me, but then you learn about, these statistics, and then you talk to people and they're like, no way in hell would I do anything like that, and so you do think that maybe it is a gift and maybe you should use it a little bit,
It might be the most common fear of public speaking. That might be the most common fear that there is. I could be wrong. I know that it's one of the biggest fears that people have. I've never had that issue either. It's never been a problem for me. And I think that is a gift because so many people are afraid of it. What always makes me laugh are people who think that they are cool with public speaking, and then you see and you're like,
maybe not so much.
This is not for you, buddy. Yeah. We encounter people like that all the time who are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna crush this, and then they're like, just there's no levels, there's no expression in their voice, and it's like, yeah, you got work to do, buddy. Not everybody can do it. I mean, there's training, there's classes you can take and everything, but I also think that there's a certain level of it of as far as acting goes that people can either do it or they can't.
Right.
And there are people who are okay at it that can get better at it, but I think just some people are just kind of predisposed to being able to be a character, to not have that self-consciousness of like, people are looking at me, what are they going to think? Like I said, like you doing that whole day where you're in a towel and no shirt for the entire day, not most people aren't cool with that.
Look, I was in a very small, really like some very petite robe as well. I would call it petite.
That robe is my call.
Look, I the way I looked at it was this way. It's like, look, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. I mean, if I'm going to be the character, I want to be the character, right? I don't want to just, because it is, you have to. I'm sure you got butterflies, even though you've done, stage work so much. And so, your 35 years juxtaposed with my.
I haven't done like a set with this many folks on there. I haven't experienced that.
Yes.
And it was a completely, like, starting out, I was totally butterflies. I was like, what are we doing? Am I doing this right? This feels weird. Like, but then as we got into it, I was like, oh, okay, we're just acting. We're just playing. Yeah.
That's really how I ended up started feeling about it. This is fun because you're having a good time doing something that you're really loving, and you're doing it at a high level with these people that do it at a high level. I didn't realize that it was at a high level. I was like, I told people that came to the screenings, I was like, I have no idea. So, is it good? Is it bad? How did I do? I haven't seen anything. The first time you see it's going to be the first time I see it. And so, it's kind of nice to hear, as I'm sure y'all felt as well, when people were like, man, you did a really good job. That makes you feel pretty good. And then, you hear that more and more, and you realize, hey, maybe this is something that I could do. That would be a lot of fun. And who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Josh, how did that feel? I'm curious, because we all go through that experience. How did it feel seeing yourself on the screen the first time?
I don't want to sound like like a, you know, narcissistic egomaniac or anything, but I fucking loved it. I mean, look,
there's nothing narcissistic about it, man.
Yeah, I think that some people, I can't stand it. I can't watch myself. I don't
really
like myself. I don't like I mean, I can stand it. I can watch it. And it's a whole lot easier if it's like there's an ensemble, there's a whole lot of folks going on. I can watch it and enjoy it. But I'm also like, man, I should have done that differently. Oh, I don't like the way I look here. Like, I'm judging myself the entire time I'm watching it. I can't help it.
Wait. I mean, I definitely am like, okay, when am I going to get down to 175 pounds? I need to get down to, you know, if I'm going to do this, I guess I'm going to have to really finally get shredded. And I've had those thoughts, and I still look like I look, man. And you know what?
You look great. You look great, man. You look great. That whole bit was it's so funny. And having you come in when we figure out something's wrong, and you come in the bathrobe in the office, so funny. So funny.
It's just it was a lot of fun. Again, I mean, I give it to you guys that wrote it, because it was really easy to act that part. And I think, Will, that I think you feel the same about your part, right? I mean, like the script was great. It was just
and it was that character. I've said this on the show before too. That character was just a stupid voice that I've been doing for years. Like, if we're in a meeting for the company, and like, you know, there's a tense moment, I might bust that out and be like, "Well, guys, I think we've come to a real good decision here." And you know, Armando thought that was hilarious. I was the effeminate high school theater teacher who's not actually gay. That was kind of the genesis of that character. Yeah. And so we were writing this part, and Armando was like, "I want you to do that voice." And I was like, "All right, cool." And that's just where the voice was already there. I already had it in the bag, so we just kind of built the character around that. And then just added the bells and whistles. We did that for everybody, though. You know, all the characters kind of evolved as we were doing it, and realizing what people could and couldn't do, and leaning into people's skills, and you know, like Nick and his Australian accent. You know, we knew that we knew he had that in his bag, and so we were like, his character was going to be from New York, have a Brooklyn accent, and then we realized, like, let's I'm gonna mute Pedro while he's figuring what's going on there. We were like, let's do the Australian. We know you can do that, and so we just, you know, pivoted. And
well, that's good, because you already had Paul. You know?
Yeah, we didn't know. Yeah, he was I know he's from South Florida, but that guy's about as New York as it gets. For sure. We haven't had Paul.
Very New Orleans in a way, you know. I mean, there's a lot of similarities with that type of person. So
man. Where do you in your mind, Josh? Where do you want your character go? What do you want to see happen with your character?
Well, I mean, he's definitely got to have a threesome. You know, that's got to happen.
Actually obligated.
I mean, you know, I'm sure it's going to be just a completely, you know, FUBAR situation whenever that does happen. And, you know, I want to see the writing. Honestly, I mean, I think of myself as, you know, you give me the script and give me some direction, and hopefully I can give you what you want. You know, I mean, it was really fun being that part of it, because as a trial attorney, you're basically the director, the producer, you're doing it all.
You're writing your own script and performing, for sure.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool to be able to just be the actor, you know, to not really worry about those other things. But where I'd like to see him is, you know, doing his shenanigans, man. I mean, at one point he was going to be a cokehead. I don't know if that's the direction I want him to go in, but if so written.
I think what we wrote that character to be like what I described as to Armando. I was like, this guy's a hedonist.
Yes,
it's just pleasure. Whether it's sex or a massage or drugs or whatever it is, just whatever's going to bring him pleasure. He's a hedonist. That's what he's. Yes. And lots of people are like that. So that was kind of the idea. Was like, this guy just wants to feel good all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I that part, not the part of not having self-control, but the part of wanting to feel good all the time. I mean, I can relate to that. You know, we all can relate to that, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe he wasn't as hard to play as I initially thought. Maybe I do have some similarities to this guy. Just the good stuff, just the not the douchebaggy stuff.
Are there any characters that you didn't get to do a whole lot with that you want to be able to maybe have some scenes with the next time we shoot?
What, say that again?
Are there any characters that you feel like you didn't get to have a whole lot of time with on camera that you want to see your character interact with?
Oh God. Yeah,
I want to do more stuff with Tony, because like Tony and Simon didn't really interact at all in the show.
Yeah,
like I want to see those two knuckleheads get together.
I gotta say that I mean I'd love to be hanging out a little bit more with my Australian brethren there. That would be nice. I think that I always want that time with you. I think our characters do really well together. Yeah. Paul. I think I was in more scenes with Paul than he was with anyone else, maybe. Right. And there's one actor who I really, really liked, who was kind of thrown in towards the end, whose name I can't recall right now, but I thought he was so good. He was the accountant.
Oh yeah. He was in the one scene. He was so good. Yeah, he was really, really good. I can't remember his name either. Armando will kill me for that. I don't even remember the character's name, honestly. But yeah, he was great in that scene. Really funny and very real, but also funny at the same time. Yeah, he was really, really good actor for sure. I want to see your character and Armando's character like go out on a sales call. Like that's what I want to see. I think that would be really, really funny.
To go out on a sales call, and of course, then it's got to become, there's got to be some bar scene either before or after the sales. Maybe before. Yeah,
you accidentally get drunk. You're gonna go have this sales call. Yeah, I think that could be really funny, for sure. So yeah, we're gonna continue to incorporate stories from the business side as far as what we've seen at LeDuc Entertainment with the clients we've worked with over the last 4 or 5 years, and there are stories, there are weird things that have happened with clients that we're going to incorporate. And I know Armando has, and other people have lots of Bourbon Street experience that they want to bring to the table as well as we move on. Which is, I love that kind of bringing those two worlds together is super fun, and is really fun in the writing to kind of merge those two together, and that's what we did for the pilot, and we're going to continue to do that. So,
well, here's a question for you, Will. Maybe one of my last questions for you, but when are we shooting the next round?
So here's what I will tell you. I think that Armando has the genesis of episode 2. Story wise, it really needs to be really written. What we have to do, which is what we did for the pilot, is get the calendar and be like, okay, we're gonna have this by this date, make it real. We're gonna shoot by this date, make it real. We're gonna edit by this date and show it by this date. Like it's amazing what putting something on a calendar really does to make something actually happen. Because if we talk about it, yeah, we should do that. But if you put it on the calendar and it's real and like people are invited to it and involved and like, okay, we're making the time for this, then it happens. That's what happened with shooting the pilot. So we have to put those dates down for episode 2 to kind of stick to it and make it real. So
there's no question. I mean, in fact, for me, I'm so ADD. I mean, in terms of my trial work and everything. I mean, deadlines, they're imperative for me, because if I have the deadline, then I know, okay, I got to do this much to prepare before you know what I mean? And so I think that is a really good thing to do in that regard. I mean, shoot, man.
For everything, but for this particular show, to bring the amount of people together that you have to bring together to make it happen, that's what we need to do. We're probably going to be interjecting some new characters into the show, because there are people who have moved and probably will not be involved with the future episodes. We have to kind of adjust and maybe add in new characters or simplify and just kind of stick with who we have, because the characters are all very, very strong. So and I've said this over and over again, and we haven't had him on the podcast yet, but man, watching it back, Aaron, the character he plays, dude, I think he might be my favorite character in the show. He's so funny, man. like when he crawls under the table in that opposite, he comes back out and he goes, "Damn, baby, you got some big feet." I'm just like, it kills me every time.
No, he was awesome. He was so good. He played that part so well.
Yeah.
It was all really believable, you know? I mean, you know, Bourbon Street is crazy as fuck. And that's the show.
No, we were shooting in that bar and I saw a bunch of sailors walking down the street and I was like, "Hey, let's go get them." And we ran outside and they were like, I think they were like either French or Swedish or something. They weren't in the US Navy.
No, they weren't.
They looked like they were, and so we ran outside and we're like, "Hey, y'all want to be in a TV show?" And they were like, we're shooting one in here. Just come inside and just pretend like you're in a bar having a good time." And they were like, "Okay." So we had sailors in the bar scene. It was great. It was like that wouldn't happen if we were shooting anywhere other than Bourbon Street.
No, that probably would not have happened anywhere else. So
we had like a couple of 70-year-olds.
I'm so looking forward. Yeah, and I'm so looking forward to doing it again. I will say this, yes. I mean, we had anything, and we had a little piece of everything in that first episode. So
yeah. I hope we're gonna post it soon for people to be able to see. I don't know what Armando's plans are with that, but you know, we're gonna keep on going. I want to keep making it. Even if I have to do that voice for another 8 days in a row, I'll do it.
Hey, man. Then if it gets picked up, maybe you got to do it for like another 8 years.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny doing that voice, like when we're on set, when we're doing it, when we're shooting a scene and we're kind of, you know, shoot for a minute, take a break, reset, move the camera. I have to keep talking like that in between. I don't have to do it like, address me as Simon. Like, it's not method acting, but that voice, just to keep it consistent.
Yes.
Once you start recording, as we're shooting that scene, in between, I have to be like, "All right, guys, are we ready to go again?" Like, I have to keep doing it or I'll lose it and it won't sound the same. So that was weird to kind of have to do that way. Because when you're doing a play, lights up, the play happens and you don't stop. You just go all the way through, tell the story until it's over, everybody claps, and then you're done. That was interesting to, like, I have to, if I stop doing this, I'm going to do it different the next time that I do it. So,
well, I mean, let me just tell you something. You did it on the level that, you know, I had to ask myself, which is his real voice? I just don't.
You know what my real voice is.
I do.
All right, brother. Well, I think we're going to call it there, man. We've been going for half an hour. We'll get Pedro back on. I think he was having some connection issues, but Josh, man, it's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you, and I'm looking forward to getting another episode going or doing something. Like we need to if we aren't shooting another Life on Bourbon anytime soon, we are going to shoot another one. We need to figure out something else to do and keep shooting. You talked about you were possibly looking at doing something down in Florida, a film down there.
Well, I don't know. Paul had said he wanted me to work on his next thing. So I had told him that I definitely have the bug and I'm definitely wanting to do it. So I'm looking forward to doing this again, man. And just remember, juice, baby, juice, baby, juice.
Baby juice, baby juice. Josh Palmintier, thank you so much for coming on the show and for being a part of the show and for giving us Blake. Great character, super funny. And we'll be back, I guess, next week. I think these are coming out weekly. Maybe Armando will be here for episode 4 of the Life on Bourbon podcast. Make sure to follow the Life on Bourbon page, YouTube page, social media, all that good stuff for more updates on what's going on with the show. And we'll be back with more episodes. Until then, y'all have a good Life on Bourbon. I don't even know what the sign off for the show is.
Smash those likes, man. Smash those likes.
Smash those likes, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks, Josh. We'll talk soon, buddy.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Thanks for hanging out at Life on Bourbon, the podcast. If you dug this, follow, subscribe, drop a rating and review, and share it with a friend who always orders the old-fashioned. Want your question on the show or a topic you want to unpack? Filmmaking, character backstory, or quarter lore? Let us know. Link in the show notes. Until next time, tip your bartender, protect your lenses, and keep the story rolling.